Welcome back to FC Barcelona Central. The international break is almost over and the club's competition is almost back. Hansi Flick's squad has returned to work this Monday morning and it's already been a week of good news and devastating news. We're facing a brutal stretch of 6 matches in just 23 days, finalizing with El Clasico. But let's jump right into the injury report. Pretty much, this is what this episode is going to be about. Most likely. Dani Olmo's medical test came back as Ciudad Esportiva confirms that Hansi Flick worse fear and is a muscle injury on the left leg. Olmo felt a sharp pain during the Spanish national team training last week and has since been ruled out for any estimate of 2 to 3 weeks. This timeline pretty much rules him out of the El Clásico against Real Madrid on October 26 at the Santiago Bernabeu. Flick is already preparing for a really rough 6 matches in just 23 days before the next international break. Every point and every player counts. The next few games is going to be at home versus Girona, at home versus Olympiacos, away against Real Madrid, at home against Elche, away in Club Brugge, and away in Celta de Vigo. With Olmo out, the pressure, shift immediately in the players returning from injury this week. Starting with a tough local derby against Girona this weekend. And after a few days of some necessary connection, according to Flick's own criteria, some squad is returning to work this past Monday with two very welcome mid faces to the training pitch. Fermin Lopez, the midfielder, is back. Fermin suffered a muscular injury in his left leg against Getafe 4 days before the last break. He was initially diagnosed with 3 weeks out, but his return to the group training is a huge lift. His energy and goal scoring threat will be critical, especially with Dani Olmo out. Our biggest superstar is also rejoined the group after missing the last fixture against Sevilla. Lamine Yamal has had a recurring groin injury flared up again after the PSG match, but his presence in the training suggests that he's ready to help mitigate those offensive losses. Another player that it is definitely a good news, and for now is regarding of Ferran Torres. Ferran has been called off from the Spanish national team due to a muscular overload. Crucially, this overload is not expected to rule him out for the Girona match this Saturday. Flick should be able to count on him, but his usage might be a little tight. Crucially, this overload is not gonna, affect them. These two returns, Lamine Yamal, Fermin Lopez, alongside with Ferran Torres, is a really good sign. This is a silver lining for Hansi Flick as he looks forward to El Clasico. But another offensive player whose status is being watched minute by minute is Rafinha. Rafinha suffered an injury in the middle of his right hamstring back on September 25th in a match against Oviedo. He was initially diagnosed of an absence of 3 weeks. The good news is that Flick and the medical staff are counting on Rafinha to be available for maybe receive this weekend on the Girona match, assuming no further setbacks. Rafinha's return is vital. Before his injury, he was in excellent form, contributing with 3 goals and 2 assists. His directness, his shooting, his leadership, and his ability is exactly what Barca will need to break down these tight defenses for Girona and Olympiacos before the ultimate test at the Santiago Bernabeu. If Rafinha can return and perform immediately, he will be a natural choice to fill part of the void left by Dani Olmo for El Clásico. Whew. Injuries. Meanwhile, in a fascinating tactical experiment happened this international break, is taking on Denmark, which could influence Hansi Flick's plans. Against Greece, the Danish coach played Andreas Christensen as a right back. And not only that, but he was playing often as a wing back in the attack, showing his amazing offensive side. While Christensen has occasionally played as a pivot under Xavi Hernandez, seeing him as a fullback, it's a little weird. His entire professional career has played 363 matches, has a center back, 22 matches has pivot, and only 6 of those has a right back. This experiment was a success with Denmark winning 3-1. Christensen played fully 90 minutes and showed his offensive and defensive versatility, something that Hansi Flick, who is hunting for a powerful fullback, will surely take note. The week has started with a mix and match, of news. The fear of losing Dani Olmo for a Clásico and the relief of Lamine Yamal and Fermin Lopez being back in the training pitch. But I want to dive into something incredibly important, and this is regarding some comments that one of the biggest stars in the world said. Jude Bellingham on Friday, in recognition of the World Mental Health Day, the Real Madrid and international star spoke about the stigma surrounding mental health, especially within the professional sports of professional sports. Bellingham's message was a powerful call for athletes to show vulnerability and let the guard down. He openly admitted that even he struggles to do this, explaining that he knows that there's been times that he felt vulnerable and doubted himself and he needed to talk to someone, but instead he tried to maintain this macho athlete, super macho mentality, and that he doesn't need anyone. He's obviously stressed out, and the reality is that he does need support like every other person out there. But I want to dive into some incredibly important comments that he made on Friday. He said he shared a story about his early days coming through the Birmingham City Academy, where he admits that he used to type his own name in Twitter to read everything it was said about him. He then quickly realizes that it was a damaging cycle seeking external validation from others. He questioned the value of both positive and the negative comments, saying that why should I let the opinion of people who doesn't know me validate, and why do I think of myself? And also asking why am I putting my own mental health through this. He concluded that there is already enough pressure in professional sports without athletes going to looking for it online. And I think that's very true. Stay off social media, or at least keep it locked in. You gotta be able to lock in. He even called organizations to step up and place more restriction in the horrible things that can be allowed and to be said on online platforms, stressing that it's necessary of having a strong support system for athletes. It is clear that Bellingham's focus it is one of protecting mental health in two sides. One, encouraging athletes to speak up and push organizations to police toxic online behaviors. So folks, that is all what I have for this video. I do want to hear from you. Let me know your thoughts in the comments, or tell me where I went wrong. Make sure you subscribe to the channel so you don't miss a single episode, and until next time.